And I think we are, well, we are live, but I don't see the image.
Takes a minute.
So, yeah, it takes a minute. There we
It takes a hot
go.
second. Yeah.
We
Hi,
are
YouTubes.
live. Hello, everybody. Let me go into the, what's it called? Into our thing and tell people, hey, we're live. Yeah, you can talk if you want to. I'm just gonna write this.
Hi, YouTube. We are going to go over a couple of cool things today. Axio/Omar is not with us. Not in
Yes.
a bad way. He's still alive. He's just not here today. Um,
Yeah, he just has some
and
stuff going on right
yeah,
now,
he's a
so.
little busy, so we are coming at you with some, how do you put it? Philosophy, as well as some practical stuff.
Yes.
It'll be
Um,
cool.
it's gonna
Going
be
over
cool.
Cortex Prime in Foundry. It's
Yeah.
really neat.
Actually, let me. I'm just changing the description because I left the other one that you had on the YouTubes.
Mm.
So,
Oh yeah, yeah, change that.
uh, and and then so basically, I've had a I would say a couple days, not days. This has been going on for months now. But I've had some really uh, deep thinking in my TTRPG experience, and I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit with some insight from Savvy and her uh, awesome thoughts.
Yes.
And then I'm just gonna leave it very easy. All right, cool. And I'll save it so it changes, and then yeah, there we go. We're good. Okay, awesome. So, good evening, everybody. I apologize. We are not tech savvies. We are not like audio producers or mixers or anything any of that sort. We just like to talk about games, and we just want to share that with all of you.
We do.
Um, anyway, so all right, so let's get right to it. This is gonna be like two things episode. I think it should be an hour. I think it should be, maybe, I don't know. First part is gonna be like a very like a introspection kind of what all my thoughts that I have had in the past couple of months from the games that I've run, the games that I played, and very few of those, but I've run more than I've played, I think. So different systems, and it's led me to some thoughts. And then after that, we're gonna go into Cortex Prime for Foundry VTT. For those that don't know, Foundry Virtual Tabletop, we're not affiliated with them, but it's an awesome tool that you can use to run your games online. If you're still doing that, right? If you're gaming in person, power to you. That's awesome. But for those of us that's still gaming online, it is a very awesome tool. Um, so we're going to talk about who told us about that. I think we had a comment in a previous, like 2 episodes ago, somebody like, hey, can you please check out my Cortex Prime, system in Foundry, and we did just that. I have to say is really cool. All right,
Yeah,
so
the solo table talk I did of that was an earlier version. And
yes,
now today we're gonna go into the legit alpha
yeah, it's like zero
version.
zero point zero point eight or something.
Yeah, but it's completely a different beast than
Hmm.
the one that I went over, and it's awesome. So yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna look into that. We already created some things, and then we're gonna create something from scratch if Savvy is willing to do that. Willing to
Oh, then
go.
I'll stop doing what I'm doing right now, creating stuff from scratch.
Yeah, I wanted to
Just
just to.
minimize that. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So all right. So first of all, deep stuff. Let's get the deep stuff out of the way. So for the past, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we've had uh, We've been gaming savvy being one of my groups that I'm running. So for those that don't know, this has not been streamed, but we've been playing Forbidden Lands in Cortex Prime. Um, I created my own system with Cortex Prime, and after playing it, not just for them, but I also played it with other people. It's led me to some thoughts of if I, to be honest, they know if I should keep running Cortex or not. So the first thing is Cortex is still one of my top three games of all time. It is a beautiful game. It is a beautiful design. What it's meant to do, it does it very, very, very well. But when I first started gaming, those that don't know, for those watching the first time, or if you watch it, at a later date, I am a very board gamer. I'm a board game person. I love board games. That was my first intro into this sort of hobby. So I played board game first. I have dozens and dozens of board games, and I love playing board games. So when I got introduced into the hobby, it was with D&D 4th edition. So that was a very video game, very tactical, very board game. So I loved it. Yeah, you can throw rocks at me. I don't care. But
Sorry, a little too overeager. Go for it.
I used to have that water bottle. It's an awesome water bottle. It broke though. Yeah.
It's not supposed to break. It's got the
No,
obviously very.
Yeah, I was using it
protective.
without the protective thing. Yeah. And anyway, so I after 4th edition, I got into some other narrative games because this is my struggle. My struggle is I love to play and I love to GM, but when I GM, I like to play as well, right? And I've had both player-facing mechanics, player-facing games like Numenera. I've run those, Dungeon World or PBTA in general, to be honest. And I love the experience, but right now I'm in that mindset, that struggle of if what I really want is, do I want to play like a player or do I want to play like a GM, right? Because we're all players at the table. Everybody's a player. It doesn't matter, right? We all have different rules and different things that we take care of. But that's my main question. Now, this is answered by two. I'm gonna give an answer, right? Because I went through all these things, and I've talked with Omar, and in the past, I talked with my game group. I talked to you guys, and through Discord. What was going through my mind is I like narrative games. I do love narrative games, but there is something to be said for the simplicity of traditional structured games. For example, in a way that, and we're going to go to our previous game, the one that we had on Saturday. It was an awesome game. It was a great session, but there were some things that I was, as the game went on, that I realized I was focusing on the wrong things. For example, and when I talked to Omar, or Axio, he gave me some really interesting things, because my GM style and how I prepare for games, it's not going to work for this group. It's not going to work with you guys. It's going to be something I have to change how I prepare for the games with you guys.
Why?
So, and that's the thing, that's the question, because for you guys, what I've noticed, playing with all of you and all these different games that we played, you guys are very interested in the why. Let me explain. Like, if you're talking to a person, you're interested in the why is this person this way? Why are they acting this way?
It's not just like pick up the quest and go.
Exactly. So Axio put it in that very same perspective. He was like, okay, what you are used to, not doesn't mean that I don't like, both ways, because I like both. What you're used to is when you go like he gave the perks example. As an MMO, when you go to an MMO and you go to a little quest giver with a little sign at the on top of their head, you go to them and it says they give you this bunch of text, and then at the bottom it says you have to retrieve this many things because they're used for this, right? And I'm like that. Well, I was used to that kind of game where I was like, hey, it doesn't really matter who this person is. It doesn't really matter what it is that they need. I just want to give you something, and then go with it, and then just go and play, right? Or just go and retrieve whatever it is. But as I was, and I should have taken notice when we did this City of Mist Cortex Prime. I should have caught a little bit of that when we played that game. Um, but I didn't think of it. It was a one shot. It was fine. Yeah. we got Bill in the house in the chat. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. So it is true, and that's why so what I was used to was that sense of like, hey, it is more important the what or the end, or
The
the end
goal.
goal, and not just the okay. So why is this person like that? Okay, to me when I was running games a lot in the past, but it was because of the people that I was gaming with and the games that I was running. I didn't care, to be honest. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, the why, and I was like, all right, as long as I had a set of events that were gonna happen from your actions, then everything was gonna be okay. But narrative games are a different beast, and I'm pretty sure GMs coming to the coming to this, I don't know, cruise, I don't know how do you call it, crux, I guess, at some point in the time. Well, at least I want to believe that most of them do. Um, in the sense that, hey, is this fun for me? Is this fun for the group? Um, Now everybody's fun is different, and I know you guys know, those that play with me know that I am my worst critic. Because if certain things don't happen, then I assume that people are not having fun, right? And I think that's because of the mentality that I was used to running games or the games that I was used to playing. So it has made me shift my uh, I guess my GM prep in a sense, if you want to call it that. Where to the fact that for the next session, I was like, okay, instead of having something happening, I needed to create interesting NPCs, like motivations, personalities, quirks, that kind of stuff, because you guys were gonna go after them and be like, okay, why should I care about this person?
Yeah.
And that's what narrative games are, right? Uh, Not
More
so
of
much.
a social, there's a lot more of a social aspect
Hmm.
than just press OK and go and return the quest for the reward type thing. Like if we that's very yeah, not what I
So,
personally look for in games. But then
yeah.
that puts a lot on the GM because you're not the players only have to worry about one character. And then the
Now,
GM has to create
so the other
all
thing,
the
the other thing
others.
was, and I was thinking, okay, with Cortex, there's not a lot. It's not customary for me to say, okay, I need you to roll this type of skill or this type of trait or whatever it is. But in traditional systems, let's go. We can go. The conversation that Bill's character was having with the old lady. It was an intense conversation for like 10 to 15 minutes, and I was like, where are you going? I don't know where you were going with this. I was just improvising a lot of that. Um, but in other games, I could have just made Bill roll, be like, hey, just give me a charisma roll or give me an intellect roll, give me something,
Yeah.
and then if it was pass or fail, I could have just stopped it right there and be like, say, nope, you don't get any more. Now
It
you have to
takes a
go
lot of
figure it out.
energy.
It does. It does take a lot of energy, and it's a lot
That's
of.
why I will say,
Mhm.
having encountered this with my increasingly narrative-based,
Mm-hmm.
social-based games that I run, um, whenever I am struggling getting into character, or like I've I don't have the energy to put into an
Mm-hmm.
NPC, I don't even bother. I paraphrase what they're gonna say. I've just started doing that. I'm like, they basically say this, and it's short, sweet, to the point.
Mm-hmm.
The players can respond with their elaborate whatever, however they want to get into character. But sometimes I gotta like, I can't. I'll try to
Mm-hmm.
be the character in that moment, and
It's just I think there's some
yeah,
systems that are, I mean, there's nothing wrong with both sides, right? Where you have the very simplistic way, because some games are very, is very, what do you call that? The action, or the action of the character is more important than what they say. And even if you say, hey, what they want to do is try to do this, right? And that works just as well. But in more
yeah.
narrative games, you kind of have to get into a little bit more deeper, a little bit more detail than that. Again, with
Well,
Cortex,
I just think that it depends on the day. It
it,
depends on your energy level. It depends on like if you've already presented 3 NPCs and been in depth with them and had in-depth conversations with the characters who want to have those conversations, then your fourth NPC might be it's like the fourth kid. You just might leave it alone a little bit more. Not worry about it as much. I don't know.
so Bill makes a point. So he's a player assumes that I had a goal in mind, and of course the characters do have a goal. The NPC, the old lady, did have a goal in mind. But the thing is, so he was trying to figure out what, why and that stuff. And I think maybe I kind of went a different direction, in the sense that I could as a GM, I could have said, hey, no, she just stops and doesn't tell you anymore and tells you to get out,
Yeah.
right? But then I don't know how that would have gone, right? But it wasn't it didn't feel right for me to do that. But in another games, I can just say, hey, give me a roll. No, then the dice determines if she turns around and tells you no, instead of me as a GM making that choice. So um, I think you were ready to have me go to the dwarf. Did you already have the dwarf school in mind? Yeah, this is so okay. Um, yes. So just to give you guys a little bit of a perspective, I am using stuff from the actual book, right? I told you guys already, like I was gonna get some stuff for the premium because I bought those books. Damn it, I'm gonna use them. So, yeah. So some of this stuff. So if you had succeeded, she was gonna tell you what she wanted and why did she want it. She kind of did say that she wanted to like get this guy out because he wanted to take her position, and that just went out through role play, right? And yeah, so it's just that sometimes I think even in Cortex, even in narrative games, a GM should just be allowed to say, okay, give me a role. All right, you succeed or you don't succeed, and then just let that be the end of it.
I think
Is
that's fine.
and I think that's fine. So that's one of the things that I came into the conclusion. The second is no, I'm not stopping the game, but another was that I might change my system. Yes, I said it live. It's still gonna be Cortex, but after running that game with you guys, that system, that what I created with you guys, and running it with other people, I've realized why the simplicity of other people that have created Cortex games, of why they keep to the simplicity, why they don't create things, why they don't generate things, why they don't. I keep saying that a Cortex can be a lot more than what it is right now,
Hmm.
but then I realized that some games actually don't need to be. Some games don't need it's not over engineering because I am creating something new, but it's based on things that are already there. I'm not creating new mechanics from scratch except one, I think. Everything else is derived from what's already in the Cortex rules. But I think the way that it's already in the rules, I see now the just living it as is still going to create the same experience. Why? Because narrative games depend a lot on the table and the people that are at the table. Fate, PBTA, um, Cortex. I think you were the outside belong. Is that the one that you were the? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do depend on the people at the table, and if you have people that are really into it, I think just creating unnecessary stuff is not gonna it's not gonna go well. And that's some of the stuff
Right.
that we kind of had a little bit of hiccups in the game, mostly on my end. Um, but yeah, so we will still use Cortex. We will still use some of the things that we've already done, but I will make some changes to the game, make it a little bit more straightforward, and so that way you guys know the traits and you identify the traits and you can say, hey, okay, this is fine. Uh, so now, with that being said, I still think that my GM style it's more akin to simplistic structured games a la ICRPG. ICRPG is still gonna be my number one game, um, just because the game is kind of like the biggest to me anyway, right? Is the biggest medium in the ranges of narrative and crunchiness
Mhm.
because you can make it literally as crunchy as you want. From the GM side and the player side, you can make it as narrative, as roleplay heavy as you want, but the game doesn't ask you to be.
Right.
But it doesn't have, which let's be honest, fifth edition is the same thing. You can roleplay as much as you want, or you can just treat it as a board game. But it doesn't have all the fiddliness and all the rules that fifth edition has, right? Or
Yeah.
that Shadowrun has, those kinds of games. Um, so I think ICRPG, and I will run it for you guys at some point. That I think it's a really really good system and so easy to use and so easy to like change and do all that stuff, and you will never lose the essence. So because some of the stuff that I did for my gaming Cortex a little bit lost its essence to me, and that's why I'm probably gonna change a little bit of it.
I
Um,
guess.
yeah, I don't know. I just, but yeah, it's you guys are awesome. Like that group is you guys. This group is awesome. You're awesome players. Um, and I think you need a more straightforward game so that way things flow a little bit better. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change it. It's gonna be great. We're gonna switch over to Foundry,
I
which
was gonna
is
ask.
what?
I was gonna ask.
Oh yeah,
Oh, wait. We're gonna switch over to Foundry for the stream. Are we going to switch over to Foundry for the
for the game.
game?
Yes, both.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So we use Foundry. Bill, you recommended the bundle. It was too good to pass up. I paid for it and I got all that music. It was like how many, like 10 gigs of like music to play in like different games from like video games and like just different genres and so I will definitely. I don't know if I'll use it. I don't know yet because I don't like to dive deep into that kind of thing. Uh, that's not my area of prep, but I know I can. It doesn't hurt to have all that stuff in your back pocket if you need it. So anyway, so with that said, do you have anything else, Sad? Do you have anything while you're
No,
fighting with the cats?
no. Ugh. Okay, I have one thing. There's nothing wrong with changing things if they're not working out well.
Mm, yeah, that's very true.
That's it. That's it. That's all I got.
So what she's saying is that my game sucked and I needed to change it.
Please
So
change it. Oh my gosh. No, it was fine.
yeah. All right. So I will go into Foundry. Let me see if this works. Let me open. All right, I'm gonna showcase
It is only
Foundry.
7:42 and I am ready for bed.
And you're ready for bed?
And I took a nap today.
No, what happened to the third? Oh, wait, my bad.
What happened?
No, no, no. I got it. I just need to put it over here. All right, there we go. And then I'll put it over here. Boom, there we go. All right, so what you have in front of you is Foundry. For those that don't know, Foundry. I'm gonna give a little bit of a shout out
Oh,
to.
thank you. Okay, I was like, it's a little small. There we go. That's better. Go for it.
I don't know if this is what's being is that what's being seen on YouTube? I can't see the YouTube's.
Yeah, we are on the right-hand side. It's like if you're watching the stream in Discord.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
then it's a big Foundry
Yeah, yeah.
stream. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
fine.
Okay. All right. So basically, the what you see here is Foundry. For those that don't know, I think it's only like $50, and then you get it. Yes, no affiliation. Thank you, Bill. No affiliation with Foundry whatsoever. Um, it is about I think it's like $50, and then you get the license for like ever, I guess. And then you can just host, send the link to your players. They log in. I think your own computer has to be the host, or you can go to like AWS or other cloud services and blah blah blah. I heard the Forge is really good, no affiliation. Um, yeah. Anyway, so what I did was I downloaded Cortex. Do you have? I'm sorry. Who is? Let me see who is the creator of this,
I will look it
because
up since I'm on YouTube.
I don't remember, to be
No
honest.
problemo. Just a second. Sorry, just a second.
Yeah, I apologize.
Notifications. Is it Mark Deacon? He's the one that commented on it. But I don't
I think he's the one
know
that did it.
if
I think he's the one that did it,
he
didn't he?
I don't know if he is the creator. Mark, if you're watching, are you the creator of
Yes,
the
if you
Cortex Prime module?
yes,
I
just let
guess
us know if you are, please.
I can actually look here. Just a second.
Yeah.
Game systems. Fine. Cortex Prime. It looks like the author is Necrophage. That's all I know.
So whoever that is,
Necrophage. Whoever you
awesome
are.
thing you have done.
Good job.
I do
Thank you.
have some recommendations or some feedback. Bill gave me
A
some. We went over it.
duplicate option. Would love that. Anyways,
Yeah,
continue.
duplicate option, the hinder stuff. Yeah, we gotta. Okay. Anyway, all right. So basically, you go over here, go to system settings. You're gonna have the Cortex Prime. As you know, you have to install the system in your, like, technically your computer, right? And then you gotta create the world using the Cortex Prime. This is the only thing you need to create Cortex Prime games. You don't have to create worlds upon worlds. You can
You
just
only need one
literally,
world.
you only need
Just
one world, and you can create all your games in it, because you can just create your own stuff. For example, if you go to actor settings, this is what's gonna pop up. I don't
although
know.
the Mass Effect and the Forbidden Lands weren't there originally. It just says
Yes, it is.
character
It is
and
literally just
scene.
character and scene. That's all it is. So I'm
Oh,
just gonna.
there's Mark. Mark is the creator of the system. Okay.
Hey.
Hello, Mark. I didn't want to assume. I also downloaded the newest version after I figured out how to download the newest Fari.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I'm excited. I've been playing in it.
So what originally had was character and scene, and then in the character one, that's what you're gonna create for your PCs or your players. So what I did was yes, Mark, hello. And so I created. So I did a Mass Effect game, um, and what I did was I went on the character. I just changed the name, And then you can add certain things. If it has plot points, it will automatically add them. No pages, it's a second tab. It's gonna have pages. Mark aka Cam Banks. That's funny. That's funny. And then we have you can have put complications if you want them in assets. What they'll do is they'll pop up as and this is what I mean. Basically, when you create Forbidden Lands, and I created Mass Effect folders, and they have like the PCs in them. So technically, they're two different games in the same world. I go to Mass Effect. This is what the end character sheet looks like. So Mark, if
Look
you're
how
listening,
awesome that looks. That's amazing.
so a couple of things to tell people. So those that don't know Cortex, you're gonna feel a little bit lost in the beginning. For those that do know Cortex, if anybody wants to like share this stream to people that love Cortex or whatever, like looking into Foundry, just go ahead and share it. Um, so basically, this is the end character sheet. You have distinctions, affiliations, tactics, assets, stress, and then approaches up here. Now, one thing, Mark, that I'm going to suggest is I have to create a hinder because, to be honest, I'm just very lazy. And changing this from a D4 every single time and then changing it back to a D8 is just exhausting. But I'm just really lazy. That's just extra clicks. But hey,
It would be
if
cool if you could add that sort of special effect to the trait set. I know that's not like how that works, but if the hinder could go like under this is who you are, and
yeah,
then you've got your distinctions, and then you can just go click hinder if you like declare that, you can change it to D4 in the dice pool. Oh yeah, he was saying that he's too lazy to do the extra clicks.
yeah,
Change
you
it
can
to
just
a
change it to a
D4.
D4, roll it, and then change it back to a D8. I'm just too lazy for that. Anyway, so what I did end up doing was see the down here, Savvy, the hinder. That's the subtrait. And then whenever I want to roll this one as a hinder, I can just click on it and then,
Oh, it's a
yeah, click as a hinder.
subtrait. Okay, because I know that you can also, because I looked at the original character sheet, and the way that they did it was they would add a special effects to
Mm-hmm.
each
Mm-hmm.
distinction
So basically,
instead of it being a subtrait.
when you go to distinctions, I just put has subtraits, and then they have a dice, and then subtraits have dice, and that's how I am able. So when I go
Okay.
to the character sheet, and I go to distinction, I go here. By the way, labels. If you put the stuff here in label, and you roll it, it will not have a name. It will just say object one, object two. I don't know.
I
And
gotcha.
then so you put it down here, and then the substrate, then you put hinder, and that's how it should work. I think Bill showed me this.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Anyway, so let me go back to the character sheet. Yeah, so we have distinctions, the affiliations. I just put it over here. You can put little descriptions at the bottom saying, hey, as a prime set, distribute D10, D8 among affiliations, and you're done. Now, cool thing, approaches, same thing. Tactics is something that this is not really a trait set in the core book, but is a trait set that I added. Um, the other one that's different is going to be the assets one, but this is not the same one as if you go to the file, if you has assets, it's going to do this. It's going to add it at the bottom, but this is not the same thing because if you click here, the only thing you can do is change the name. It's like literally if you pay a plot point to add an asset. That's literally what that is. But that's not what I want because in my Mass Effect game, I'm going to click on this and then hit update and then it'll delete it. So in my Mass Effect game, I have different assets depending on the type of the type of character you're playing. You have people that have kind of like psionic abilities. You have people that are like soldiers or like, yeah, like sorters or warriors, but like in sci-fi. And then you have people like the hackers and tech people, stuff like that. So what I did was I created assets, but I went to assets here as a trait set, and then has subtraits. Subtraits have dice, and they're consumable because some of them are consumable, and
Right.
they do have SFX. So this one, assets, literally, this is just an ability. I literally went into the ability list and added a name, what's the label, shockwave, but it's under the biotics. And then so if they want to add another like ability or something, you can just keep adding them with a D8 or whatever you want to, whatever dice you want to put in there. And then the SFX, which is what I created, and then I got one from the abilities list, and then I just put it in there.
Okay,
And
I like that.
if you have somebody that is using resources, now the only thing about this is because they're consumable, it's going to, when you click on it, it's going to add this, right?
Okay.
But you can just unclick this, uncheck this, so it doesn't remove the dice.
Oh, so like if it's consumable, then
Yeah,
you would keep it checked, but
yeah,
then if it's not consumable,
because this character
I gotcha.
has, it's consumable, right? Because depending on the game and the setting, they kind of do different things. But this is expendable. So when you click on this, and then you can just do add to the pool, and then they're gone.
Mark mentioned the like switch or toggle icon or whatever is to shut down something, to
Oh
shut down
no,
a trait.
I was actually gonna
So
ask that. I was wondering about that, like
yeah.
what was the purpose of it, but now I realized that yeah, it's to shut down. That's pretty cool. I thought it was something like gonna be hidden or something like that or whatever. But I guess it's shut down. Yeah, okay.
Because
I
in
like it.
Cortex you can like shut down a trait in order to hyperpower
Yeah, in order to do
another.
something.
Yeah.
And then the other one is this one. This is another asset, but it's an equipment, right? So this is technically a signature asset. But I didn't want to put a signature asset because it was going to get confusing that way. It's an equipment, it's a weapon, and then once per session, you get a D8. This is the SFX. Once per session, you get a D8 social stress to triple because it's called assassination. If you assassinate somebody, that turns to gain a lot of heat. So that's why you get a D8
That's fair.
social stress. Yeah.
That is
So,
fair.
all right.
People
And
will not like you very much.
no, no,
So
they won't. So here, they tend to probably try to find you. The down here at the bottom below plot points is literally you can add hero dice, which is through right here at the bottom simple traits. This is literally to just put like life points and hey, somebody's saying that the hey Mark,
it's Mark.
can you please export these game settings and make it available somewhere? I love Mass Effect. Yes.
I could possibly upload them to our never updated website that I just remembered we have. So I could
That
do
reminds
that.
me, I need to do a blog. I need to do the first blog on that one. Okay, on that thing. Anyway,
It's been a few months.
yeah, it's been a
Uh,
few months. So yeah, I can like export this. That's fine. I haven't played with Foundry a lot, so I only played ICRPG with it. Anyway, so so you can put Spectre dice, which is literally the same thing as hero dice. I just call it Spectre dice because Spectre is a very important word and thing in the Mass Effect world. I just thought it'd make it
yeah.
awesome.
Thematic, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That's what Cortex is. Cortex is to make everything thematic. Because if you just make everything the same, they just becomes a little bit bland. To me,
Yeah,
that's just
that's
how I
true.
feel. And then, all right, so stress is the ability thing that's kind of uh, different.
I was curious about this, how
Yeah.
you did
So
this.
stress, I put them consumable because technically, they kind of get consumed. I guess at some point. I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Eh,
Eh.
I don't know. I mean,
Cause
that would help.
so
I don't know.
no, I don't think they're consumable. I think you can just put them up and down. That's fine.
Ooh, theme
Hey,
changes.
themes
Yeah.
theme
I
changes. That's
mean,
awesome.
I really like that this emulates the PDF style. I
Mm-hmm.
like I
The
like
book,
it
yeah.
a lot. Yeah, so yeah,
Yes.
I don't know if if the consumable thing's the best way to do that
Yeah, I think
because
it's just you can just add it as a normal dice and then just
yeah.
add and then delete it. Is I don't know. That's the first thing I thought. I might just change it in the future. By the way, Mark, is there a wiki so people can look at this or try to find it? And the other thing is, well, he does that if he wants to, if he whenever he answers. So, let me get character sheet from the game that we were playing. So this is the original thing, which I'm going to change now. I created a character sheet, a character for our Forbidden Lands game, and this is the game that I kind of created. Uh, which it's also awesome that you can expand this, so you can see everything in just one single thing. Let me save this
Oh,
one.
that's awesome. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so it's everything in like one thing. There we go. That's a long distinction. Anyway, so this is what I did. Power unleash style, all that stuff. So I'm gonna change a lot of that. Yeah. So anyways, that is technically. So let's create one. How are we on time? I don't know.
Let me do it. Well,
Oh, you want to?
technically we started late, so
No,
yeah,
I
let me
mean,
do
just
it.
just just do the 1 hour, just doing 1 hour thing. If that's, let me see how we're at. We're at 40 minutes. That's fine.
40 minutes.
We
Can
got
do.
time.
Okay, here we go. I will share mine and you can do the same thing that you just did.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let
Let me
me
get out. Let me get out of mine. Let me stop streaming, and it should probably be just the two of us now. And
and I'm there.
was the stream, and there we go. All right, cool. All right.
Okay. So, I had actually already started on the Eidolon Alpha character sheet, but I'll just do something and just run through it. I'll just make a new one, just so, you know, people are looking for a way to do stuff. You want to make a new actor type. Actors are Foundry's version of characters.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to the scenes yet.
Similar.
We'll talk
Oh,
about that
you
afterwards.
do need to do that, yeah, because that's really cool. We're gonna do. I'm just gonna do that. We have plot points, notes page. I don't know. I kind of like the way that you did assets, but I don't think it matters here.
No,
I'm just gonna
if they
say
all
has
have
assets.
if they all have signature assets, then you can just put a signature asset.
I got you. So distinctions, they have labels are important. It lets you name your distinctions. If you want, like for Ghosts or Herman's Forbidden Lands game, the distinctions are like kin. So then
Hmm.
if you have labels, it'll still say kin, and then under that it'll say what you are. So I kind of like that instead of changing the name of the distinction. I liked what you did with subtraits. Has dice. Easy peasy. And these guys for distinctions, you got your main distinction. Excuse me. Let's see. Default SFX. Oh, so you put the hinder under subtraits,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which is a D4. That works just as well. And then we got power one. I'm not gonna make all of them, but it's got powers. We'll just go with one power for now at a D8.
Yeah, mark the you do that. I yeah the thing is not so much the disparity of the columns, but so much that I don't mind as much because it just lets me focus on how short or long that column is. But the spacing, horizontal wise, of like I would yeah the I would like the dice tray just in one single line. Instead of like going next to the so it looks like a stair, that kind of thing. At least to me that's just pet peeve. It really doesn't change anything. It's just a pet peeve.
What are you talking about? Is it a design
So
thing?
yeah, it's just a design, probably like a CSS thing
Ah, I
that he
gotcha.
would probably have to work with if he wants to do it at all. It's just that when you put the distinct, you put the traits and all that stuff, it adds the dice next to it, so it kind of does like a wavy thing depending on how long the trade is. If you have like power and then you have something like, you know, unforgettable or something like that, then the dice get moved to the side next to it, and it just looks weird to me. I mean, you'll see it whenever when you put the stuff in there.
Hmm. Yeah, this does have a subtree as well.
Yeah, the ability just is fine how it is, just putting the ability on the left side and then the die type or the die next to the trait, the trait and then the die. That's fine. It's just making it to me, just make it as symmetrical, I guess, to me. Yeah, layout setting is fine. That's actually pretty cool. So what are you doing there?
I've got the Eidolon alpha sheet here,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
this is like the summoned Eidolon is kind of like your ultimate move, I think, is like you end up having to shut down, yeah, you shut down basically all of your distinctions in
That's
order to summon your Eidolon,
that's
which
your Pokemon. Yeah.
this
Okay.
is your like Mewtwo, okay? It's pretty cool. I would love to run Eidolon, but I haven't yet because it scares me a little bit. It seems very a lot. It seems like a lot. Um, just go with one of
Yeah.
the
I like Lynn. Hey
powers.
Lynn, how's it going?
Hey, Lynn. We're
It's your
just
he's saying it's your kaiju. That's funny.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my god, get out of here. You know what? Stop the stream right now. Just stop it. Yeah,
I'm
kaiju is
fired.
kaiju is. Have you seen? Well, I'm probably gonna say movies that you have not seen. What's the movie with the giant robots? Ah, so good. Somebody in the chat help me out. What's the movie? Pacific Rim. There we go.
Oh, okay. I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's a really good
So
movie.
yeah.
I
So
like
the
it.
big monster, that's a kaiju.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
It's like Japanese monster. That's all. Literally,
I
that's what it
gotcha.
means. Yes,
Reborn.
Godzilla is technically a kaiju. That is very true.
I am almost done here, at least with this part. So
You
this is
know that you can just add those
just
things
look at
and
this.
then I prefer to not make everything
Okay.
in the beginning and then have the player make it as a custom trait. So that way they can just change it and all that stuff. Not make everything as default because then it's just more work for
That's
me.
fair. That is fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think for like for if you're doing roles where you got warrior priest scout and they have like specific dice they have to put in for those for each one or like your attributes, we can go ahead and make that. But I think I don't know. I also could just sit here and do this all day.
I
So
know.
I'm like,
And that was
this
another
is
thing because
this
Bill
is
asked
so
me
much fun for me.
because Bill asked me if discovering Cortex in Foundry kind of rekindled my possible lost fire for Cortex, and it did. To be honest, it was like I love Fari, I love it, but this is and Fari is gonna be great for what it does, but this is what Cortex needed right now until they come out with their own thing. Although I did see it because I bought Tales of Stadia, so I do have access to the alpha version or something. I think it's called alpha pre-release. I don't know. It's pretty good. It's a little bit involved. It's like they try to make it very pleasing to the eye. It's really it looks good, but it's too busy. It's for me. It's just too busy, and
I
I wish Foundry. I don't know, Mark, if you're trying to do this, but I don't know if Foundry has a way that you can manipulate the dice once you roll them, because that will always beat anything else. And you can do it in the alpha version of the fandom tool, your Cortex tool. You can do it. You can manipulate it.
I'm gonna interrupt you just for a
yeah,
hot second
yeah.
because I just discovered something pretty neat that you might consider, and that is it saved now?
No, you're probably gonna have to. That's another thing. I don't know why it does that. You're gonna have to delete the character sheet and then create a new one. Delete the actor and then create a new one.
I thought it was supposed to update.
It's
It was
supposed to update,
updating
but
on yours.
sometimes it doesn't.
Rip.
Yeah. Just create a new actor. I just call it DD. For some reason, it just makes it easier.
Oh, it would help if I chose the correct sheet to update it from, you know?
I'm just
Always a good idea.
uh,
Okay, let me see. Here it is. Stress. And then you can change your stress here from your, because I like the way that it works on the character sheet. It's got like, you've got your attribute and then you can mark stress on that attribute instead of having it as a separate.
Yes, that works. I had it for the Forbidden Lands because I was using the shaken and stricken rule.
Yeah.
So that works for that. So I actually had it that way.
Okay.
Which is fine. It's good.
I do prefer it this way. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it that way.
But that's if you're using the shaken and stricken rules. If you're using just straight like physical mental, then you don't need to.
That's fair. Okay, I didn't think about that.
No.
I really like the way that it works with putting stress on your attributes as opposed to just like overall stress.
Yeah, I
It's
did because my Mass Effect game has physical, mental, and social stress. So they do have to be separate.
Separate. I got you. Unless your attributes were physical, mental, and social.
No, they're not. Because I'm not using them, but yeah. Yeah, because everybody is a badass in Mass Effect, so it matters more how you do things than.
I am nearly done here. And then my character sheets don't look nearly as pretty as yours because I don't have like pictures or.
I'm just going through the comments, so I'm not
Whatever.
saying anything. I'm just going through the comments real quick.
You're good.
And then we got.
Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, so.
Okay. That's it. Oh, highlight. So on the Eidolon Alpha, on the Eidolon, oh, you know what? Never mind. I guess that doesn't matter as much. Maybe.
No, to highlight, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can just. Yeah.
I wonder how you would do that. I guess you could label it. What would that look like? Gonna find out. Update. Not doing save? No? Close?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're right. It's not quite
yeah,
working here, huh?
I don't know. So I've had, just Margaret, I've had to keep deleting the actors and then create new ones because it wouldn't update the thing for some reason.
Yeah, that is strange, huh?
No, I won't. I don't think it won't. I don't think it'll end at a blank label, Bill. I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's if you make too many changes for some reason, it just won't update when you click the update settings, update sheet or whatever. It just, I don't know why it doesn't do it.
Wait. Even if you click save changes, that is a lot of dice in there, and that is not very pretty. How do you make it look better? Make it wider. I don't know. That is a lot. It's a lot. I guess you could go here and get rid of the stress dice unless you need it. Whoops.
Yeah, the stress dice so for my game of stress dice, they're blank. So unless it's needed. See,
yeah, that looks even better.
So what I was saying about the dice is to have them all in one column so they all look straight and not like a stair.
Oh, I feel the same way.
Yeah, just make them all the way to the right or somewhere. I don't know.
hinder distinctions, I think I would go and I would do this. I would have hinder as a preset trait, honestly, at the top. And then I would
Oh, just have one.
delete.
Well,
Yeah, and then I
technically,
would
you have
just
like that's another thing. You have like in distinctions, you have like a dozen distinctions. So all hindered, yeah, that's gonna be very.
yeah, I like to like streamline as much as possible. And I feel like this is the way. You only need one hinder thing.
Yeah, technically you only need one.
A way to quickly add a D4 to your roll is all you need. Yeah, Eidolon does have a lot of distinctions. It looks like it mainly runs off of distinctions. Hinder, and then I'll just move that up so it's on top. And then we'll save this. See how this goes. I already know this isn't going to work, so I will just make another one. Oh, much better. Okay, hinder.
I will put that one at the bottom
D4.
for me.
You would put it at the bottom?
Yeah, I
No,
will
you're
put
right.
it. I'll put it at the bottom.
You're totally right. Okay, I'm not gonna bother doing that. But
Well, yeah,
yeah,
but yeah.
that was what, 13 minutes?
There
Game
you go.
created, pretty
Yeah,
much.
there you go.
And I would say that, I mean, Eidolon Alpha isn't the most involved, it's not a ton of stuff,
It's
but
not hammerheads. Let's go with that.
I'm looking at that. Oh yeah, I was looking through these. I was like, which one am I gonna try to make? I'm like, not that one. And
Yeah,
even
hammerheads is
Trace. Trace
very.
has a lot.
Yeah.
But I'd love to. Oh no, I would not love to run Hammerheads.
No.
No, I want to run Trace and I want to run Eidolon. But yes, this is very nice. Would like the dice to be lined up, but that's really nitpicky. Everything this like is so much better than the one that I worked with the other day. So I'm glad that you pointed out to me that
He's like, hey, you're using the old one.
I'm using the old one.
Go to the scenes one.
Oh right. The scenes was really cool. I haven't actually made scenes yet.
I did. So when you go to the scenes, you have all that the same things except the traits that's already created for extras, minor GMC, mobs, bosses, and the Doom Pool is a simple trait. So literally, you don't have to do anything.
Oh wait.
No, it's just to create it as an actor. You gotta create it as an actor.
That's right. Okay. I got confused here for a second. So if we create an actor and it's a scene and it's all right here and you just
And you
edit
have
it.
all that there. You can literally keep that same one for the entire game. If you want to, right? That's up to you. If you want to if you want to add different scenes for, and then add GMCs for those specific scenes and blah blah, whatever. That's up to you. You can add the Doom Pool if you want to, and then you can just add the custom trait there. And then sub traits, and those ones have dice. And then vampiric touch or whatever, and then you can just add it and have it whatever it needs. Yeah. So yep.
There we go. There's my minor GMC. Actually, I would put that as a mob, but still,
same thing.
Whatever.
It's fine.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, so I think it's pretty cool. Mr. Mark, what you've
this makes me want to run a Cortex game.
I know, and that was my thing, but I don't want the new shiny edge case to be my go-to for running, Cortex when I'm still gonna run Cortex, right? It's still gonna be one of my top 3 favorite games. And then, but having this fight with traditional narrative D20, those kinds of things, have made me actually look into other games that I do have. Let's switch over the scene over in OBS. There we go. So it has made me kind of think about other games that I have that are actually really good, like Genesis, and another one that I have is called Unity, which is pretty cool. It's just very tactically based a little bit, right? It's not great or anything, but um, it's very Diablo-esque, and where you have to use, you get powers, you get classes, and then as you level up, you get more abilities and all that stuff. It's very uh, fourth edition type, but not grid. You can play like completely theater of the mind. So it has gotten me to appreciate both sides of the spectrum and why they both need to be appreciated. Why both have, they have their strong points, they have their weak points, because let's just be honest, all of them have their weak points and all of them have strong points. But it's made me appreciate the more, like, why it is that we do the hobby, why I still feel that we're oversaturated in games right now. I still feel that way, and and I think why some people, I think anyway, because I'm not a designer, I don't know why some people or some designers create their own games, is because sometimes you're trying to find out what you want, but you're just like finding so many, you go down so many rabbit holes that you don't know if you're gonna find what you have. I'm pretty sure there is something already for what you want,
Except
but
when there's not,
and so well, there's not, right?
which is why I created my own.
Yeah, there you go.
But I don't think Foundry will ever host that well. So
No, that's
it's
fine.
Google Sheets for me.
Yeah, you don't need a lot. So yeah, so when the I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Oh crap. Anyway, yeah. So appreciating both sides, the simplicity of one, and then the role play heavy interaction, social interaction. Because let's be honest, narrative games, it mostly about the social interaction between players, between NPCs, and that's not something that I fully had a full grasp of before running Cortex, to be honest, because I never ran Fate. I did play Fate games. I ran Numenera. Well, Numenera is still traditional in a sense. It's still very structured. It doesn't matter if you talk your ear off to somebody, to an NPC. You still need to, at some point, you still need to roll if you're gonna be successful or not, right? Games then get narrative games like Fate and Cortex doesn't necessarily need you to do that. You can just role play your way, right? Depends on the GM as well. That's another thing. It gives power both to players and GMs, whereas the other spectrum is just mostly the GM has a little bit of final say in it. Not all games, right? But players do have agency in their actions, but not in the end result, which is the difference.
Right.
The dice determine the outcome. It is player action based on character skill, and that's what determines if you succeed or not at the end of the game. Cortex narrative games, no, because the tools provided allows you to play with the results, play with the mechanics, and change it to your favor, and rewrite the story for your character. One, to be honest, let's be honest. To one, you play your character, and then you're playing the character. The other one, you're playing, but almost most of the time as well, you're writing the story for your character, which is different. It's just a different dynamic, a different scene. So to finish off, because we're an hour now, I did have my introspection. I did have a lot of talks. I did have talks with the group. I did have a lot of talks, mostly with Omar, because I've known him for a while, and he knows my GM style. I know his, and yeah, and he gave me his thoughts, and yeah. So I think so. The point is, we will run Forbidden Lands in Cortex. We will. I will make some adjustments to the character sheet that we have, to the game that we have. This Saturday we won't be playing because Ariston is going to be unavailable. But if you guys are interested in Mass Effect, I have that ready with the pre-gens already, so we can run that. Because I am in October, hopefully, if everything is well, I'm gonna go to a con, and I want to run Cortex at that con. So, and I just don't know what to run, so we'll see. Yeah.
Um, I wanted to add just before we sign off, Bill mentioned that somebody should add Fiasco to Foundry. This isn't specific to Fiasco, but I was just thinking that this system, the Cortex system, is so sandboxy. I'm thinking of all the ways I can make other systems within the Cortex Prime world that I've made, because it is basically a sandbox, and you can
So
label it whatever you want and put dice wherever you want. And yes, it's for Cortex Prime, but I could also use it for anything else.
so
I
that's
feel
that's
like.
that's 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 what I've done with the course since I discovered Cortex. I've created most of the games that I have here in Cortex, right? And just having the Foundry VTT is just gonna make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, not
so
creating the game in Cortex, but I'm saying creating
the actual game in the
the
Cortex
actual
thing.
game in the Cortex Foundry system, but as the game. Like, I'm like, I can do my PBTA games in here.
Yep.
I could do,
Yep.
you could
Yep. Yep.
probably rig Fiasco
No,
in
Mark, you
here.
you need to add the
Like,
D20. That is the only thing
anything but
missing.
it. The thing is that they've already got plenty of systems that have the D20 in there, so.
But hey,
Or you know what? Just roll 2d10s. There you go. Instead of a d20.
so yeah, you can do that. But yeah, so the yeah, D20, just add it just for the for giggles. You should add the D20 just for giggles.
Add it and then make it not work. There you go. It's just an Easter egg. It's not actually legit.
Yeah. D20 Cortex would be like having Dr. Manhattan as a character. D20 just doesn't contain. Yeah, is yeah, D12 doesn't contain him. Yeah, it's D20. It's fun. Just rolling a D20 is fun. It's just it's not. I don't know. Hey, there you go. I can make it a setting. Yep, have a D20 as an option. Yes, Cortex
There you
Prime.
go.
We are going to have D20s.
We are going
That's
to start making D&D games in the Cortex Prime world system.
it's going to
Just kidding.
happen.
I don't play D&D. But you could do that, I
Yeah,
guess. You know.
you
It's
can.
very Mark, I appreciate what you've done here. Gary,
Hey,
hi
Gary.
great Gary Grant.
Hey, hi.
Who are you? Are you in the server? Have we spoken to you before? I'm not on a first name basis with everybody, so.
we don't know a lot of we're not on a first name basis. But yeah, so Gary, thank you for Gary Grant. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, D20. I still love my D20s. I think I almost put in my Forbidden Lands game. I almost put a D20 in it, but it was not gonna be used as much. Yeah, so say so he's a fan apparently.
You are in the server? I'm confused. Maybe the Cortex Prime server. We're all friends. I don't know. It's late. It's 8:25, you guys. It is past my bedtime. I
Yeah.
need to go to sleep.
So, all right. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. If you see this in the future, please join our Discord. It should be it should be down in the description. Join our Discord. We have these
Yeah.
conversations most of the time.
And now that there's threads, it's even gonna be
Oh,
more
it's gonna be
organized
great.
conversation.
Yeah, they
It
should
Come join
they
us.
should make
It'll be
threads
awesome.
in like voice channels because we go on tangents so much. We
I
go,
feel like that would be so nifty. It's like breakout rooms
yep,
on
and
Zoom.
then just
And then come back together when you're
yeah,
ready, you know?
exactly. So I think Threads is a really cool thing in Discord. But so something. Yes, last thing. GM workshop.
Right. I wonder whose idea that was. Oh, such a dumb
I
idea.
am gonna put it. Yes, I am gonna hold
It was
us
my
to it.
idea. That's why I'm allowed to say it.
I am gonna hold us to it. We are going to do the first GM workshop.
Yes, you can, Mark. They know us over there, especially Germán. He's the man who messes with things.
Yeah, I kind
So,
of I was the one that once they blamed that I had broken Cortex for some reason. I don't know. Whatever. So even though you can't break
thanks,
it.
Gary.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah. The yeah. So GM workshop. We're gonna, for those that are new to GMing, or if you haven't GM'd in a long time, um, we are going to have like panel-esque sessions. It's
Be
gonna be through.
panel-esque, but it'll be very like we
Yes.
want to have discussions. It's not like a lecture. It's like we talk about the topic for a hot second and then everybody else talks about it with us.
Yeah, and they
That's
can
what it
ask us
is.
questions.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a bit tailored to new GMs, but anybody can do it. It's gonna be a couple of, I think it's like 10 maybe less or
Yeah.
something, and then at the end, those people, what we want is those people to run games at the end of it.
That's the capstone.
That is
You're
the
not
caps. Yes, there's
graded.
a yes.
Just
You're
kidding,
not.
you are graded.
Yeah,
I'm
we're gonna
just
do
kidding.
homeworks. We're gonna do projects. I want to do like oral presentations and all that. And no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, but there's gonna be like the end. We just want to create more GMs in the server,
Yes,
and
please.
and yeah, we get a little bit tuckered out
Overwhelmed. Yeah.
by running too many games. So anyway, yeah, so it's gonna be happening maybe. I'm gonna say it's gonna be in
August.
August. I'm gonna say a date right now.
It's gonna
Mm,
be either bi-weekly or monthly, depending on what people think. Or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. What did you
I think
decide?
it's 2 weeks. 19. Let's go with that. Because the 12, I was gonna say the 12, but the 12 I'm not gonna be. Yeah, I'm not gonna be available.
19th is the day before my birthday.
There you go. That's an awesome present that we are going to give you. You are going to host the workshop. So yeah, so 19th of August, we're gonna do it. We're gonna put a post in our Discord channel. It's gonna be using the stage channels from Discord, which are pretty cool. Which allows us just to talk, and then instead of people talking over each other, they can just notify us, and then we'll let them speak, say what they want to say, and then we can have a really awesome discussion,
Yeah,
right?
it'll be cool. And the more people that are there, the cooler it'll be. So join us. Even, I guess, if you don't want to do the capstone at the end where you run a game, that's
Yeah,
fine. But we would highly appreciate
we highly
it.
appreciate it, right? I think we run so many games, it's just ridiculous. Um, but yeah, so
Not just
join.
us. Bill has also run his fair share, like 2 or 3, and he does a great job
Yes,
each time.
they're awesome people. Don't be afraid to ask people for playing. People are always willing to play, and don't be
We
afraid.
curate our members so that everybody
Yes.
we have a pretty good idea that everybody's not a jerk on the
Yeah,
server.
so
So
what we want to do is create a community where you don't feel like, oh my God, what if what if they're gonna be,
awful.
awful at the table or something like that. Like, no, we're a very very small community, but that's how we want it. Not because we're gatekeeping, but because we we want to create a safe environment for everybody. Where if somebody says, "Hey, I want to run something tomorrow," and people show up, they know that those people that show up will not ruin the game.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to do. But yeah, but we need more people to run anyway. So GM Workshop, 19 August, first time, and it's gonna be usually about an hour long, I think.
And
Some
the topic is going
yes, topic.
to be, let me see, it is going to be Introduction to GMing. Obviously, GM 101
Yeah, yeah. So
Introduction
that's what I'm
to
saying. Like,
GMing.
it's more
So,
tailored to people that play, but they never actually GM, because we know it takes a different. All those that run games know that it takes completely different skills to GM. Not that we're experts. Just be
I've only
honest,
been
right?
doing this for like 2 years.
I've only
So,
been doing it for like 9 years now. No, wait, 8 years, 9 years, something like that. I don't know. Whatever. So yeah.
yes,
Anything
that's
else
it.
before we go?
Nope. That's it. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Mark, thank you again because this has inspired me to not keep Foundry closed for over a year. Um, and
Make the $50 worth it.
oh, Gary, come to our server. And we have a whole like process to get into running a game.
Yes, yes, we
That's
do.
how. Come to the server, click the link, do the whole thing where you choose a role, introduce yourself, and then you will see where you can run a game for people.
Now, the thing is, don't be discouraged if you put a game up and nobody, is really interested in playing it, right? It's just that we don't have a lot of people. A lot of people don't have much experience in playing and running, so they don't really know if they're going to like the games or not. And if they don't, I would suggest just try to run something else. Don't be discouraged.
But you can almost be guaranteed that there's like a handful of people here. You'll have at least like 2 players. And usually we like to play with 3. Somehow Germán is facilitating a group of 5.
Oh, I'm
Somehow.
running these people Cortex on 5. It's just it's exhausting, but it's awesome. They're awesome players. I usually try to stay at 4 my maximum, but I decided to do 5 because why not?
Oh, that scares me. Anyways,
Anyway,
yeah,
so we're out. Thank you guys so
we're
much.
finally.
And yeah, just keep
Yeah.
gaming. You guys are awesome. And goodbye,
Well, see
everybody.
you next
See ya.
time.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.